EST 2016. This is interviews, music reviews, and more. This is The Hotter Show.
What is up, everybody? We're Rolling Audio here today in episode 347 of The Hotter Show. I hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Thank you so very much for tuning in and clicking that play button on today's episode of the podcast. I've got a kick-ass episode for you here today, and I try to every single week right here on The Hotter Show. I'm sitting down with Robert and Nick from Sticks and Stones, who are a phenomenal and kick-ass rock and roll band based out of Ontario, Canada. And we have a fantastic chat talking all about their start with music, their influences, the albums that really made them want to get into playing music, the early days of the band, some shows that they've played. We talk a lot about endorsements and how those came to be and some cool moments they've had, as well as just some really fun moments from their career over the last little while, and some really in-depth gear talk as well, which I am always a big fan of because I am a huge gear nerd. It's a really fun chat with a lot of laughs. We really had a great time. So big shout out again to Nick and Robert for being just such phenomenal guests. Sticks and Stones are a badass band, and I know you guys are going to love every second of this chat. But before we jump in, I got to thank everybody for their support on last week's episode of the show. My chat with the homies Riley and Ev from Judgment. That was a lot of fun. Be sure to go back and check out that episode if you did not. And they still have a couple of shows left later on this week and this weekend if you guys are listening to this on Thursday on the 18th. So go check out Judgment because they are badass and definitely deserve your support. We are ready to roll into my chat here today with Nick and Robert from Sticks and Stones. Before we do, we're going to take a quick second to hear from the sponsors who are helping the Hotter Show grow. Let's check it out. All right, we got Nick and Robert from Sticks and Stones here. What's up, boys? How you doing?
We're doing good, man. How's it going?
Oh, it's going fantastic. It's great to finally link up with you guys because the band Sticks and Stones has come up on this podcast quite a bit. So I figured it's high time we better to link up.
Yeah. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, for sure. So first and foremost, guys, like I gotta just comment before we jump into the classic influences and things of that nature.
Yeah.
You got quite the setup over there, man. I'm very jealous of the setup you guys are running. How did that all come to be? Did you guys just start building it, or how did that come to be with the studio setup over there?
Well, the studio. So basically, when COVID hit, when it first hit, we were upstairs in our guest bedroom. And my mom was working under it because she still had to work online and stuff. So she got really annoyed.
Oh, that's
even our playing extremely loud.
Even our neighbor 2 doors down would come up. We're doing a band practice, and you'll call him "Yo, you guys are rocking out. I can hear you." And he's 2 houses down.
Yeah,
that's cool, but
it's cool. But yeah,
let's see what they got to do.
So my mom's so we're moving this. So summer 2020, we came downstairs and we built. So basically, this is a third of our basement. So we just built a wall.
Yeah, it used to be a bar.
Yeah, where we're sitting used to be a big bar, and now that moved. But so we went and we soundproofed everything. We put acoustic panels everywhere. So and basically by midsummer of 2020, we basically had a decent recording setup going on here. And what's really cool is that because we have enough space, we could track drums, and because of this space here, I can almost have my own little control room and stuff. And then since then, it's been a lot of gear, buying a lot of gear.
We were talking about that before.
Yeah.
You can even just hear the progression of gear throughout our demos. If you hear the early demos, and it's one room mic and the drums playing, and then you come now and we have the SC arena pack and everything, and it's sounds really sick.
Yeah.
Even the progression from the first video I heard you guys in, which was the Gojira cover, compared to Addicted to Pain, it's it's not this because everything on the Gojira cover was awesome. It sounded great, and you guys killed it on. Obviously, goes without saying.
Thank you.
But then going to the Addicted to Pain cover, it's just that little bit of a level up. Every time you guys upload something, I'm always
Yeah.
oh, okay. Like there's cons,
Yeah.
like, you know, like you
Yeah.
see bands upload covers and stuff to YouTube. It's like they all kind of like are just always kind of the same level of, and that's not a bad thing. You get to a certain
Yeah.
point, but it's
Yeah.
like, it's really cool to watch the progression when you go back
Yeah.
even to just the last 9 months or so.
Yeah, I find
Yeah.
like that's really important progression, even especially because we're young. So just to even like go back and watch, it's like when you cringe at your old playing is sometimes a good thing because you go, oh, I can't believe I played like that, and then you watch a video now and you're like, oh, I play so much better, and then 5 years from now you go check back and like, oh, I can't believe I played like that.
Dude, I sucked. Like,
Yeah. Exactly.
That's just life in general, man. Like I look
Yeah.
at stuff even in my own world with the podcast that I did even like 4 years ago, and I'm like, ugh, like, jeez.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah,
it's
we
good
know
to
the
have that
feeling.
attitude.
Yeah. Well, it's good to know that like you're always progressing and stuff, right? So even just like like as you said, the Addicted to Pain cover, and even we just since the Addicted to Pain cover, first of all, it helps when you have two people who can record themselves well and play
Yes.
really well.
Well,
So
and
that really helps.
Nick like just self-taught himself with YouTube videos and stuff to mix, so he was kind of learning as we were going, and after every cover, you can hear the mixing's getting better, and
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
that's very important for like these covers and stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't go to school for this, right? I go to school for biochemistry, so completely different world from audio. So basically, yeah, just YouTube videos, and even if you go, like, I go back to like the very first like cover we posted, which I think was like last year, a year and a half ago, maybe even 2 years ago, and it's like I go back and it's like, oh, like it just sounds so underwater and everything's so like gross, and it's like, oh, yeah, it's terrible. But
the
you
funny
improve.
thing with that is when every time Nick mixes something, he's like, oh, this is so sick, and he plays it like 800 times. So like that Addicted to Pain cover, I swear there was a time gap before we posted it, and it being done was about 3 days. I heard this song at least 100 times, at least minimum. Nick was just playing it
Yeah,
on these speakers, the one upstairs, in the car, on the phone, with headphones on.
You got to make sure the mix is right, bro.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
get it. I
Yeah,
get
exactly,
it. I got to
No.
check it on everything.
yeah.
Everything,
Honestly,
yeah.
when I do especially like the mixing, I get addicted, right? So I
Haha.
And then the
He
pain,
said it.
and then
Yeah,
the pain,
no.
He
the
said
the
it.
pain comes when you upload it to Instagram, and the audio
Anyway.
quality just decreases.
yeah.
I like that tail end there. That was
Yeah.
good, man. I like that. He threw it up and you whacked it out of the
alley-oop.
park. That's good.
Yeah. No, but for real, like I get obsessed. Like I have to make sure everything's like as good as I can make it before I put it out, and that helps too with getting better and better, right? Because you start to hear things more.
Yeah, developing your ears.
That's it. Exactly it. Like when you're listening to something and it's like, oh man, I gotta lower the mids on that, or I know nothing about production, which is
Yeah.
hilarious because I'm a podcaster, but like it's like I'll listen to something and I'll be like, ooh, that sounds tinny. How do I make that less tinny? And it's like
Yeah.
as you just progress, it's just like, oh man, that tom sounds whack. We gotta fix that. We gotta figure
Yeah.
that out. Or oh, I can't believe, even just with recording, like any friends of mine I have who I would watch record and things like that back in the day, like I'd be watching them and it would be like the perfect take, right? And
Yeah.
it would just be like, oh, I got to do it over again. I'm like, dude, that was perfect. It's like, no, man, on the third bar of the second verse, I didn't angle my pick right, so that it's gonna sound super weird and just
Yeah.
little things
I
like
know what
that.
you mean,
learn.
because especially
Yeah.
with drums, when you need to get the snare consistency, and you just whack a rim on one of the shots, and it just hits rim, and you just hear it clack off the rim. You're like, in the middle of the take.
Yeah, followed by audible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or nothing's worse than when your iPhone runs out of storage, or whatever you're recording with runs out of storage, and you're like, that was a sick take, let's go check it out, and you see 1 minute, and you're like, oh god.
Yeah.
Dude, there's nothing worse.
No, nothing when it comes
That's
to
it.
recording.
Yeah. So going back, when did you guys start to play music? How did this whole journey begin for you? And when did you start recording yourselves? I'd love to hear about all that.
So pretty much like 2014. Well, I started playing guitar when I was 7, and he started playing drums when he was 7.
And there's a 2-year gap between us, so he's 2 years older. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And so we started doing lessons, and then in 2014, the music school that we were at, which is musician's choice or drummer's choice, whatever you want to call it, they had this School of Rock program, which is basically they got a bunch of students and they'd like form bands. So in 2014,
Was it
we
2014
did
or
that.
13?
2014. That's why on our stickers and stuff it says ES 2014, or even on the any of our logos it says that, because that's really when we started playing as a band, right?
That's when the Sticks and Stones name was made.
Yeah. And you want to
Most
tell the
impromptu
story?
thing, because we got somehow it's like, oh, we formed this band. It's like, oh, sick, and we go rehearse. We get there on the day. What's our band name? And one of the instructors turned to us like, do you guys have a band name? And I don't know where I pulled this from. I just said Sticks and Stones, and then it kind of just stuck from there.
Yeah.
That's actually crazy. It's like I'm being reminded of like the scene in the original Spider-Man where it's like, "What's your name, kid?" The human spider.
The human spider.
Human
Yeah.
spider.
No, that sucks. Spider-Man. Like,
Yeah,
what's your
yeah.
name, guys? Like,
Yeah, pretty much exactly. It was like we were at the end of the set and it was just like, wait, what are we gonna say our band name is? And our Sticks and Stones. Okay.
Okay, we'll work with that.
Yeah. So we did the School of Rock thing all the way up until like summer of 2019, until we booked our first gig at Spot One, which is a bar here in Brampton. And yeah, so they gave us our first gig, and then from there we've been 2019 up until COVID shut everything down in 2020. It was like almost like
live shows.
almost like weekly we were playing shows. And even if you when we look back at them now, we kind of cringe 3 years later almost, and it's like, ugh. But I mean, that's when we really started to be serious about playing like gigs and getting paid and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, right? So that's when it really started, was like summer of 2019. And then once COVID hit, that's when we started doing the whole recording.
Yeah.
So it started up in
that room.
in the bedroom. So but the funny thing was, I had the laptop in my bedroom, but we recorded drums in the other bedroom. So what I had to do is I had to like take my laptop over into the other room where the drums were,
Put
put
it
up a
on.
microphone and hope to God that it sounded okay, which it never did, because it was just terrible. But
It was just
yeah,
one room mic. What was it? It was like an audio interface mic or something that he had.
yeah, it was
like
a crappy mic, right?
It was
But
like a real low end.
yeah, it was like a really low end microphone and stuff. But that's how we started. And then once we built this down here, I bought like a decent set of studio monitors, and started to really try and learn how to record myself and record our band, and track demos. And even we might even track our next like couple like songs here, like our next record, and then maybe send it off to get mixed or something. But yeah, so learning to record ourselves is coming very handy. And it pretty much COVID's the reason that I started doing
you
this
play
whole
live
recording
shows.
thing.
So
Yeah, because it's like,
the next best thing is record yourself doing a cover and post it online.
yeah, exactly.
right. It's learning that, like this is a situation that we've been through the last couple of years now,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that like so many artists and bands, like they just like they didn't know what to do, and there's really the only thing you could do was almost kind of just put the work in that way, right? And try and
Yep.
what
Yep.
can we do to better our brand and ourselves as musicians, and be more valuable to our bands, so that when we are able to get going again, it's like we never miss a beat, right? It's finding the things you can do, and I'm glad that you guys were able to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, and actually, for us, because we weren't super serious like touring and stuff, it didn't impact us that bad. It did, because we lost a lot of gigs. But what the COVID actually in a way kind of helped, because we, through like Instagram and through like just social media in general and doing all these covers and stuff, we actually got to know a lot of people through that. So like even when we did our first EP, so we found out through, I think it was Instagram or even just online. I think my dad was searching through, and he saw this thing called Bandwagon, which was Leon Harrison from the Lazies and John Harvey from Monster Truck, and even Ryan Roxy from Alice Cooper. But I'll get there in a second. And so we saw this thing and we did it because it was like it's a mentor. They're doing like a mentorship thing,
Yeah.
right?
And we needed help with the songwriting, because we got to a point where it's like we could do an instrumental song, and then as soon as the lyrics came, we're like, okay, we have to write lyrics, and then nothing.
Yeah.
Just absolutely nothing.
So they really helped us with that. And So because of COVID, we didn't have any stress of, okay, we have to finish these songs like by this date, and we have to do this, and we have to work around doing all these different gigs and stuff. It was like really good because we were able to really concentrate on that stuff. And through Bandwagon, we met Ryan Roxy, who I've now become, like, he's become my mentor. So and Ryan Roxy's helped me out like crazy. He's such a super cool dude. And he helped with one of the songs. I don't remember which one it was through Bandwagon.
It was a Trial by Fire, one of our songs
I
that just didn't make it to the EP.
Yeah, it was just too different.
He got on a sinking ship. It was
Yeah.
the song was not going anywhere. And then Leon just goes, "Hey guys, we're gonna bring Ryan Roxy from Alice Cooper in." And we're like, "Oh, sick!" And they're like, "What song are you doing?" Trial by Fire. Oh God.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, not anyone but that one.
Yeah,
I don't think there's enough flex tape to fix that sinking ship, man.
I love it. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Flex tape.
No, yeah, but through, and then Ryan helped with like doing like social media things. I went on some of his like live streams, and just in general, like doing things with Ryan, doing things with other people, collaborating through these covers with a bunch of different awesome artists. We're actually working on a couple covers right now that are in the works currently. We've got something coming up with Ryan Roxy that we're doing. We've got something that's coming up with a couple other artists that we're doing. So it's going to be really cool. And social media and actually COVID kind of helped that, right?
And the internet presence for us.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. It is funny how that there was that side of it, right? For bands like yourselves, where, you know, you weren't quite at that level yet where the touring is like your livelihood.
Yeah.
So you're able to build your brand a bit. And who knows, maybe these opportunities wouldn't have happened if you weren't stuck at home, so to speak, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Playing shows every weekend.
Yeah. Because, and also, like guys like Leon and Monster Truck who are touring all the time, they probably would have been busy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it would have, and then it's just, I don't know, one door closes, another opens, I guess. Right. So
it's the best way to look at it. And it's definitely a good attitude to have, especially because it was hard, man. Like, it was just, I talked to some people that like, man, this was our year, like, you know, and like, just, I hated hearing it, but then to see bands like yourselves, I don't know if benefit's quite the right word, maybe so, because again, maybe those people wouldn't have been sitting at home. I mean, I got some pretty cool interviews myself out of it, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah.
But that's really cool to hear. But also one cover I wanted to make sure I brought up, because it was actually the cover that, so when I had Christian from
One in the Chamber.
Yeah.
Oh my God, how did I forget his I was literally just about to say One in the Chamber. I say it, so I say it, I don't type out One in the Chamber when I talk about them. So it's like
OITC.
OITC.
So, yeah, right. So I short form it because that's how much I talk about them.
Yeah.
But shout outs to them. Christian's a wonderful dude, and he was getting ready to go record the System of a Down cover with you guys.
Yeah.
He was,
that one was fun.
like, dude, he was so excited. Like, I'm sure you guys could tell. Like, he's a great guy and a killer player, but like, man, he was so excited to come hanging and record it. And then to find out as well that Andy's hopping on too.
Yeah.
Which was like, what? Andy's doing System of a Down? Like, what is, I remember I saw that and I was like, what is going on over there? Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, I know. That was like, I think, was it Andy that suggested to do System of a Down?
Oh, I don't remember.
I think it might have been. I might be wrong.
It may have been me.
It might have been Robert.
I was listening to a lot of System of a Down in that time, and
I was like, because Andy's like, yeah, let's do it. And I'm like, shit, nice.
Because he was like murdered it.
He did it. He did it so well, man. He did it so well.
I'm a huge fan of his voice, and like, I was like, I don't know, man. He's a rock singer, right?
Yeah.
He's a rock and roll singer. He's got that grit. And I was like, I don't know, man. And then this like first verse, I'm like, get out of here. Come on. My God. Like, murders. And then obviously you backing up when you do, like, obviously you guys just fit so well together. But yeah, I was like, dude.
and then the alligator cameo.
Oh,
thing.
The alligator.
Yeah.
The alligator toy,
with the ad libs.
I was like, yes.
The gator cases.
But it was, I knew the cover was going to be really good when literally the first take, because when Andy was in here, because I was a little bit skeptical too. I'm like, Andy's a rock singer. I'm curious to see how he sings this. And I went and I clicked record. And first take, I was like, holy shit, this sounds really good.
And
So-
I really appreciated the fact that he didn't he showed up as Andy.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got he didn't show up like, okay, I gotta look like a System of a Down, one of those bands that you don't have to act like I'm a metal guy.
Yeah.
Because that's just System of a Down. But I just really,
Came with the Pit
really
Vipers.
appreciated that cut.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, right.
And then we had the bar down lager.
Yeah,
kegs,
the bar.
Yes, I was gonna say you showed it with Bar Down Lager.
yeah.
I'm like, that's what you
At
want
the
to
back.
see when Andy comes on
Yeah.
the scene, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
It was-
freaking awesome.
It was like, and we were here and we're like, hold on, Andy, we have some bar down lager. We have
Just
the
put it in the back.
yeah, the jugs. We're like, and Andy's like, holy shit, yeah, we should put those in the video. So boom, right there, we put them in. Actually,
Yeah,
talking
that
about that,
was-
I gotta go pick up
was
some
fun.
more, man. I gotta go drive down the taps to go pick
Bro,
me up.
I
some
gotta
more.
drive down because I'm in Peterborough, so it's a
It's a
it
hike.
is a journey for me to
Yeah.
go down. But man, I want it so. Is it good? Because I haven't had
yeah.
it before.
Yeah, it's
Yeah?
it's actually really
Okay.
good. I'm not the biggest fan of craft beers, but I really like
Mhm.
that. It was good. It had
I don't know why I said, "Oh yeah," like I drank it before. I'm not of age.
I was gonna say, how
I
old
was
are
like,
you?
oh,
Anyway,
yeah,
it's a couple years. I'm like,
I was chugging that.
Whatever. It's,
I was like, wait a second. I caught myself there. I'm like, yeah, it was good. No, my dad and Nick said it was good, so I was just
okay. I wasn't gonna say
Going
anything. I
from
was
their
like,
expertise.
What was cool is it had a hint of rose in it. It wasn't really obvious, but it had that
Mhm.
little bit of taste. It was really good.
Yeah,
It was
I
really good.
love my loggers, so I'm like, man, I gotta
Yeah.
get down there.
Yeah.
But yeah, one day I'll make a trip down. But because there's just this awesome scene in that kind of area.
Yeah.
There's just all these just
Aw-
killers, and it's
Yeah.
just like you guys, and obviously Revive the Rose, One in the Chamber, Drop Top Alibi. I always forget a band whenever I'm listing everybody, but you kind
Yeah.
of all in that you're Southern Ontario, but up a little more from
Yeah,
your
yeah,
Toronto
yeah.
area.
Yeah. We're mid Southern Ontario.
Yeah, it's just crazy. There's all this wicked freaking talent. But I'm curious with you guys, as far as bands that got you into music, where did that start for you guys with music? What were some of the first bands that you ever heard, and what bands kind of made you go, yo, I want to pick up an instrument?
You want to go first?
Okay. Well, our parents listened to rock. My mom used to play Metallica all the time, so I feel like Metallica is probably an early influence. Also, the whole soundtrack for Guitar Hero,
Hell
got you
dude,
into
no
it.
shame.
And then
Yeah.
I got into drums from Animal from the Muppets because I was a little bit of a maniac when I was a kid. So I saw him just going crazy. I was like, I want to do that. I'm
That's
signed,
awesome.
and it was so funny because I was so uncoordinated as a kid. I was so clumsy. I was falling over. I split my head open on a round table somehow as a kid.
What? Yeah, man, I split my head open on a round
And
table.
then I was just like, it's a good idea to go play drums.
That was the most random thing ever.
I'm just saying, I don't know. It was kind of.
That's okay. That's okay, man. I got a bowling ball dropped in my head when I was 12, so whatever. It's
Oh
fine.
my
It's all
God.
good. And it wasn't even in a fun way. It just slipped out of someone's hand, and I was like,
Oh my
anyway.
God.
So yeah, I hear you, man.
No, so yeah, Animal and just the rock. Growing up listening to rock from my parents, kind of got me into it.
For me, it was Metallica for sure. GNR and Van Halen. Just Van Halen 1 was just a massive album, for me. Van Halen 1 and Appetite, and then the Black Album, and then later on when I got into the early Metallica stuff, And Justice for All, Kill 'Em all the the earlier stuff pre-Black Album. It's just, yeah, that's what I think. Kirk Hammett was the first. Kirk Hammett Slash and EVH were definitely the three that really made me want to get into guitar. So like big time. And especially, I mean, I don't know, I like to think you can kind of hear a little bit of that influence in some of my playing, especially the Slash and EVH stuff, because I think some of my solos I do all the tapping, especially in some of our new stuff. There's all kinds of all tapping stuff that I did, and it's very, very, very Eddie Van Halen like. Because
For the rock stuff, I for sure hear it. I don't know if I hear enough wah for Kirk, but we'll let that go. But I'm just kidding.
I mean, I have a Kirk Hammett signature guitar that I met Kirk and he signed it for me, which was really cool.
Really?
And,
Now, do you have because I'm a huge ESP guy. Like
Yeah.
that's like my brand, man. So I got
Yeah.
is it like an ESP or is it an
No,
LTD?
it's
'Cause
an
I love
LTD.
LTD too.
It's an
Okay.
LTD. Yeah.
Which one is it? I gotta ask now. You know I gotta ask.
Okay, now he's going to go check.
We're doing live play by play here.
Nick
so he's
has
gonna
too
go
many
get the guitar.
guitars when he has to go double check. He's going to check the
So
inventory.
So how many guitars is he rocking? Like
Oh
how many
my
guitars are in that
God.
freaking basement right now?
A lot.
I love it. A
Quick
lot.
estimate, a lot.
Oh, that's gorgeous. You guys, this is an audio podcast, but
Yeah,
that's gorgeous.
And then he signed the headstock there.
That's awesome. The neck through. Oh,
Yep. It plays like butter.
gorgeous.
I'm just not a big fan of the pickups in this thing. I'm a Seymour Duncan guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say that might be a little hot for his because I think he's rocking I think he's still rocking the 8160 if I'm not mistaken. I know him and James were for a long time, but now James has the headset because
Well, actually, those. So both Kirk and James have their own signature EMGs now. So those are like the Kirk
signatures in
Hammett,
it.
the Kirk Hammett Bone Breakers. They're called.
Right. Okay. I'm so out of the loop now on guitar stuff, man. I used to be back when I was at the music store. I used to just be able to ride this stuff off, man, especially ESP stuff.
Yeah.
I'd be like, so anyway, the Max Calavera signature comes with a Seymour Duncan. It's like, what are you talking about? Like,
Yeah, honestly.
Just guitar Siri at that point.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. But so with like influences and stuff like that, like when you started to take lessons, because I always find this interesting when I speak with people who went the lesson route.
Yeah.
Because I never did, because I had this weird thing where I was like, oh, and it's like so lame to say. I hate that I used to think like this when I was a kid, but like I'd be like, man, if I take lessons, I'm gonna become that player. You guys ever deal with those kind of anxieties, or you just were always?
No, it's just I like you take lessons for just to learn the technique, and yeah, you can. I guess if you have like a teacher that you really admire, I guess you might take some stuff from them.
Yeah.
So, but honestly, it's more for the technique. Like even my singing lessons now, like I've been doing singing lessons for like 2 years almost. I think it's almost 2 years, maybe even over that. And actually, no, I think it's 2 years coming in like September. But with my vocal teacher, Faulkner Abraham, he's crazy. But he had to kind of take me out of trying to sound like Miles Kennedy because he was like a massive
Right.
like when because like has like the perfect vocal sound in my opinion. It's just like perfect. It's got, and so anyway, I wanted to mimic that, but he's like no.
I love the hand motion on that. No.
I'm glad he did it too, because I'd be like, come home from school, go take a nap. Nick's downstairs singing Alter Bridge, right under me.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I
Miles
think
Kennedy impression.
Yeah, I think when you're starting out, like you're always going to mimic your favorites. I think that's part of the journey. And I mean, I think I had the same conversation with Mike from the Jailbirds, like where it's like, I remember him saying something I'm totally paraphrasing, but he said something along the lines of like, dude, I have like a boring, clean voice. I kind of have to sound like Miles Kennedy. Like I don't really have a choice. Like he's just like, once you start singing like that, like he's like, I'm kind of, I'm totally paraphrasing him at this point, but he was like, I have to like kind of sound like him. But you've got this cool thing where, I can I hear the Hetfield a bit too. Like when you're going grit, I hear it. I'm like, okay.
Hetfield was the first vocal influence.
Well, we used to do a lot of Metallica covers.
Yeah.
Right.
When we played bars.
Oh yeah, I think I saw a Frayed Ends of Sanity video or something pop up
my!
on top, and I was like, "That's cool."
That song to play live was insane.
That was so hard. That was so.
They don't
hard,
even like
man.
playing it.
They don't play it. Yeah,
that was the first time I had to use my DTX. I remember because I was gonna play like the Wizard of Oz sound, like the oh, and then I remember the second time I think it was the second time we did it. I forgot the power cable to the DTX, and I was like, I'm like, okay, I got the pad, I got this cable, and then I forgot the power cord, and I'm like, oh, And then
It's kind
that
of
song is just
important.
missing and it's just so empty in the beginning. I'm like, oh god.
It's just you sitting there yelling.
I'm just
like,
going,
oh,
in the back with no mic either, just in the
Come on,
back.
bro, you got to just make it happen, man. It's part of the gig, you know. You got to make it happen.
Just a bunch of guys just screaming, "Oh, yeah."
I feel like that'd be pretty hype, to be honest.
I'm
probably
gonna say
would.
I'd
It
try to get
probably
the
would.
crowd going. Like, come on, let's do it.
Yeah.
You
That's
don't even
it,
start
though.
the
I mean-
song. Just go, oh, for like an hour. It's the whole bar.
At least you didn't forget your drumsticks or something like that.
That's
You
true.
know.
I
Dude,
mean,
I've-
somehow I forgotten. I brought my whole hi-hat. I forgot the hi-hat rod. Somehow.
Oh no.
And
What
then
do you
I
even do in that situation? Just try and find
luckily,
another.
Luckily, it was like this was like early, so we were doing sound check, so it's set up, and luckily my dad was going back home to get my mom, so he went and got it. But I was like, I'm setting up. I'm like, this doesn't seem right. I'm like, where's the rod? like
Something. Something's missing
something-
here.
Something is
something does
missing.
not look good here.
Something is amiss. Huh?
Yeah,
This
I was
would take
like,
all of my cunning to figure this out.
yeah, I was like, there's no way. I was like searching like the bar at that point. I was like digging in my bag even like 5 times. Like I know it's not there. Let me just go check again. I'm like, there's no way I forgot a hi-hat rod.
It's like this. It's like if Nick forgot like I don't know. I was about to
A
say a
guitar
guitar
strap.
with no strings, but that's almost sillier.
Yeah,
It's
kind
like,
of.
how would you- I guess if you forget. Then again, I had someone come into the store once and say, "Dude, I'm playing a set in 15 minutes next across the street, and I have no strings on my guitar." And I was like, "Huh?
Oh my God.
Like what?" Dude, I don't even know how it happened, man. Can you help me? And I was like, "I got you."
I don't know.
But,
They
like,
just
yeah,
they just
it's-
weren't there.
They ran. They ran.
Dude, they ran away, man. I don't know what happened. That's fantastic. But I want to talk a little bit about gear and stuff like that because you guys have, I just keep seeing these posts ever since I've been following you guys of a new endorsement from this company and this company. Like, not that you guys don't deserve it. Let me be clear. I think you guys are freaking awesome. But like, how does this keep happening? Like, is it just like I'm always curious for like endorsements and stuff like that. Like, how does that even come to be?
It's kind of a weird thing because it's kind of based on like you kind of have to like make a relationship with the company
Right.
in a way. So like knowing like people like the people in the company that can get you the endorsement and making a relationship with them is very
Yeah.
important because and also doing a lot of covers and stuff so you can show their products and all that kind of stuff, right? So I don't know, it's kind of weird because like I've tried to get endorsements like all kinds and I've been declined on certain ones. I mean, I like the endorsements I have now better anyway, but
I mean, that's pretty easy to say when you have Gibson as one.
I
of
was
your
just
sponsors.
about to say, I mean, being a Gibson artist, I mean, I guess that's pretty cool. You know.
yeah. No, that one it was like I had applied the way I got the Gibson thing was kind of weird. So Gibson has this like mentorship program called the G3. So I think it was 2021 around
Well, you would've been
April,
18.
March. And about March, they had like auditions, I guess, for it. So I applied, and I didn't get in. But then around some early August last year, I just woke up, checked my phone in the morning, saw email from the president of Gibson, Cesar Gecki, and he's like, "Oh, we think you. I saw your video. I think you're a really great guitar player, and we want to make you a actual Gibson artist." He said, "We think you're past the G3 mentorship stage, and we think you're ready to become a full blown Gibson artist." And I freaked out, man. I was in my underwear. I ran downstairs, jumped down the stairs. "Mom, Dad, I got it!" You know.
That's
Like
awesome.
like a little kid
Like
on Christmas
morning. Yeah, I was about to say the same.
Just to go from thinking, oh man, I can't believe I didn't get this. Like what? Like,
Yeah,
because I have that kind of has to be a bummer when it's like a mentorship, like, because like
Yeah.
you're a great player, dude. Like you've got, I know enough really talented cats that when I see someone and I watch their playing and I'm just like, okay, like the little things separate a pretty good guitar player and a guitar player like of your caliber, like your vibrato and stuff. Like it's
thank
just,
you.
yeah, it's another level, man.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, so when that Gibson thing happened, I freaked out. And I mean, we originally, like, he invited me down to go check out, because at that time the Gibson Garage had like just came out, which is like their flagship store in Nashville. And but because of COVID restrictions, like, because you had to do all the testing, and the border was closed for a long time, so I didn't want to chance it. So I ended up going a couple months back in May. And I flew down there, and I got to watch I went to watch Shinedown, I watched Gojira, I watched Megadeth, right?
That's
And
awesome.
what was cool is I got to meet like everybody at Gibson. And actually JC, the president of Gibson, he signed the guitar case for my Les Paul Standard. And he signed, like, because Gibson's come with like a picture of the guitar from the factory in the case, and he went and he signed that too. And he was just such a super cool dude. And then I actually got to watch the Megadeth show from the Gibson box in the Bridgestone Arena, which is really
ballin',
cool,
man.
Yeah, so that was really cool. And I got to meet like Richie Faulkner there too. He's like he's such a nice guy.
And didn't you meet Ray Luzier, like, just going to the bathroom or something?
Yeah, at the Gojira show, I was on my way to the bathroom. I'm like, wait, that's Ray Luzier from Korn. What?
The hell
So
are you doing
can I
here?
get a picture?
He's just hanging out.
Yeah, dude. In Nashville, I swear everybody's just there. Like everybody's just
hanging out.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, that was a hell of a trip. And what's cool is I actually, when I went down to the Gibson Garage, because I've been getting mentored for the past couple months by Megadeth's guitar player Kiko Lareal. So when I went down to the Gibson Garage, I was like, hey Kiko, because Megadeth was obviously playing in Nashville. So I was like, hey Kiko, you going down to the Gibson Garage today? He's like, yeah, I'll be there in like an hour. Come meet me down there. So me and Kiko got to hang out in the Gibson Garage and test out a bunch of like custom shop guitars. It was really cool.
I have to ask, what was the coolest one you played while you were there?
Oh, the coolest one I played was probably the 1950. I think it was 58 or 59. I think it was 58 Carina Explorer, which was like, there's like only 19 of them ever made. Yeah. So it was really like, that guitar was insane. And then I got to play Cesar Gekian's personal 59 Les Paul, which is actually he calls it the Gemini, because it's the serial number before Kirk Hammett's Greenie guitar. It's like literally just before it on the production line. It was literally the guitar like right before it. So it's like, it was like, that guitar was really cool too. And it sounded amazing, even just like acoustically, just playing it without being plugged into an amp. It just sung. So those two were definitely the highlights of the guitars I played. Yeah.
That's freaking sweet. So being a Gibson artist, what are you what are you playing right now? What are your axes of choice?
A lot.
Not
too bad. Yeah. I've got like my Flying V, I've got my two Les Pauls, and I've got my Flying V. And if I need like a guitar for a show, when we opened for John 5, I hit up Gibson. They sent me an SG to play for that gig. So what's really cool about Gibson is say if we have like fly dates somewhere, like if we're playing in Nashville, I don't have to travel with my stuff. I can just go down there and be like, I need a guitar. So that's one of probably the coolest thing about being about like gear wise about being a Gibson, is that it's
easy, like it's accessible.
It's accessible, right? Yeah. Because they're such a big company.
Just the fact that you're calling up Gibson and just say, I need a guitar for this show, that's just wild to me. That's just like, what?
Yeah.
What happened if I call up Gibson and was like, listen, I need a guitar? They'd be like, how did you get this number? Who are you?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's really cool to be just to be able to say that I am a Gibson artist and I endorse Gibson guitars.
And I feel like that for you at least, that helped you a lot with the other endorsements.
Yeah, it helps a lot with other endorsements when I go up to companies, or if I just anything. It just gives it gives you that, okay, he's a serious musician.
There's some credibility.
Yeah,
there,
exactly.
You've got credibility. It's very attractive to see Gibson artist.
Exactly.
So what do you? I have to. Then obviously the next question I have to ask as a gear nerd. So what are you rocking for strings?
For strings, I've got this string endorsement with these awesome strings called sit strings, stay in tune strings.
Yes.
So I use their medium light power wound nickel strings, which are 11s to 50s. So I use a very heavy gauge string.
I was about to say, because so what do you tune to then?
Um, we have songs in a bunch of different tunings. For the most part, our rock stuff is in E flat.
Okay.
But we've got one song that's in like D standard. We've got a couple songs that are in drop C sharp.
Well, all the songs on the first EP were
All
were
the songs in
E-flat.
the first EP are E flat, but some of the new stuff is a bit heavier, so it's in like a lower tunings. And uh, we were debating making a song in drop A, which is like really low. But
You don't even need it, bro. That's what
but-
everyone's doing. Go higher. Go
Yeah,
up.
honestly.
Go back to standard.
Yeah,
Like, there's nothing harder than when I hear a good riff in like standard tuning now, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yo,
yeah.
that's the ticket.
Yeah, standard tuning or E flat, because the E flat thing is big for me because all my favorite minus Metallica, they're mainly in E standard, but like all my favorite 80s, everything in the 80s was just drop E flat, right? So that's where I like the sound of the guitar in E flat, but that's just me. But the thing is, if I go up to E with like this heavy of a string, I kind of have to like play a couple days before it doesn't hurt my hands anymore.
Yeah, that
'Cause I
is
get
heavy
fatigued.
for an E, even for
Yeah.
even for just like a strictly rhythm player. I couldn't imagine trying to play leads and stuff with
Yeah.
an 11 in
Wait.
standard. That
Well,
takes
it's
some time.
Yeah, it does. It takes some time, but what's good about it is I play my guitar really, really hard, especially live. So it's like in this what I was finding when I was playing tens or even nines, I never really played nines. I didn't like them. But when I was playing tens, I found like live, especially in the studio was fine, but live, I was like overbending and it was like just I play too hard live for that string. So that's why I went up to the 11s and I pretty much stay there all the time now. So that's my
freaking
strings.
sweet. And then obviously the next question leading into that, what are we rocking for amplifiers? What do you got going?
I've got.
I think you're gonna be happy with this question. Nick.
I've got a couple amplifiers. I've got a 1990s PV 5150
Nice,
head.
the original. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I've got I don't have the block letter, but I have the signature, which is like the next iteration of that amp, but it still sounds really nice. So
Nice.
I got that. I've got my Marshall Plexi. I've got it's my grandpa's 70. I believe it's a 73 Silverface twin reverb by Fender.
Ooh,
I've
nice.
got a Marshall 4x12, an Orange 2x12. I've got a couple of the rev stuff. So I've got like the G20 and the matching 212 for it. So because I've got an endorsement deal with Rev because it's not directly with Rev. It's through
What's the same
a company WB Gear.
Yeah.
Shouts
So
to
Hoogie,
Hoogie.
Hoogie. Yeah, shout out to Hoogie.
Yes.
So through WB Gear is sit strings, Rev, Intune picks, which I use all the time. And I have my where's my I got
I was about to say, I'm sure you've got a signature pick. Come on.
Yeah.
It's a Sticks and Stones
one.
It's Sticks and Stones
Oh,
pick,
okay.
right? So it's like it's got our two different logos on either side, and it's like a white. It's pretty much like the same as like a standard Tortex by Dunlop, 1.14 millimeter, because that's what I was using before. But yeah, and then there's all kinds of stuff. Prestige guitars, which make really nice guitars. A friend of mine, Todd Kearns, he's got a signature Prestige bass and guitar. So and they both sound really good.
Yeah,
and
those are wicked guitars.
There's a couple other things that through WB Gear that are really nice. But yeah, that's probably that's where I get a lot of my my musician stuff that is actually very necessary. Like you don't need 4 amps, but you need some strings, right?
Exactly right.
You need strings, you need picks, you need stuff to keep it going,
The
right?
necessities, yeah.
And then I got the SC microphones endorsement, which I'm really happy with. SC Electronics microphones are the best in my opinion. Like even right now I'm speaking into me and Robert are both speaking into SC Electronics microphones. And I've got Robert's entire kit is all SC. When I sing either into my Warm Audio 47 clone, or I sing into my SC Electronics V7X with a V7 grill, which is very important for plosives. But yeah, you could tell that I am very into microphones. I love the SE stuff. Hoping to get my hands on one of their Rupert Neve microphones soon, but
Nice.
gotta save up a
it's
bit
not
for that.
it's not a company I'm super familiar with their microphones, but like I said to you before we started, like, man, those are some nice sounding dynamics. I'm gonna have to look into that a little bit.
Yeah, they're really great. And actually, like Miles Kennedy, who's my hero, he like that's how I got introduced to SE Electronics microphones. I saw because Miles has got his own signature SE mic, so I was like, gotta have it. So
Really?
Gotta
I
get
thought
that.
it was
I mean,
Billie
come
Eilish
on.
that got you into it, man.
no,
I
not
mean,
Billie
whatever
Eilish.
works.
I mean, she is endorsed by SE, and she has her own signature mics with SE. But her and Billy Gibbons too from CZ Top, so that's really cool.
That's a really interesting lineup. Just those three in a row.
Yeah,
when you look at it.
honestly,
That's
you
really
got-
cool. Like,
Yeah, metal, pop, and like quintessential rock. So it's like,
what's not to like?
honestly, they're very versatile microphones. And
Yeah,
actually, I've got
no,
a new
they sound
amp coming.
fantastic.
It's on the way. It's a Friedman BE100 Deluxe 100-watt head. So that amp is gonna be really sick.
The Friedman stuff is ridiculous.
It's so good. It's so good.
I'm a huge Jerry Cantrell fan.
Yeah,
So like, yeah, I'm all about
the
that
Friedman.
Friedman Double J. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
I would sell my kidneys. Both of them. I don't even need them anymore.
Honestly,
If I have that amplifier, I don't even need them. Like,
yeah,
just-
honestly.
That's fantastic. Well, let's move over to the drum world. I'm curious now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be straight with you, Rob. I don't know anything about drums except for they go bang bang. But
That's a pretty good education.
that's what all I need to know. Okay, cool. But what are you rocking for a kit?
Oh, well, I got endorsed by DS Drums. Another drummer in LA, Ivan Capelli, helped me out with that endorsement. So shout out to him. They got my kit, which I helped designed with the president at the time, and my dad actually helped me out too. So it's my design on the kit, and it's maple kit. I really like it. They're custom drums, so I pretty much picked what I want, and so when you get what you want, you're really happy with it.
You're exactly.
So
This
I
is
had
exactly what I
no
want.
complaints. I was like, I got it. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. And then I got a Ludwig Black Beauty snare. I got Zildjian K's, and I have one Sabian HHX Power Ride, which I absolutely love. And just recently, I think I announced this like yesterday or 2 days ago.
Yesterday, yeah.
Was it yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday.
I got a Vader drumstick endorsement, and
Congrats on that, man. That's
Thank you.
awesome.
thank you. And shout out to JD from Drumland who helped me out with that one too. And yeah, that the drumsticks was once I got the DS endorsement, I was like, I need a drumstick endorsement because one, I really like Vader, and that was the sticks I was using. So I was like, I reached out to them because I'm like, if I can get endorsed by them and they can like post me and stuff, that'd be sick. Yeah, so that's what I'm rocking with, and obviously the SE arena pack with the mics, courtesy of Nick.
Courtesy of SE.
Nick.
Courtesy of-
Shout out to
courtesy of
Nick for
SE.
sucking that up.
Yeah.
Actually, shout out to Tony from SE Electronics for hooking me up. But yeah,
To say too, for one more point on the drums, for Vader, they also have a badass freaking name. Let's just be serious.
Oh, yeah.
I just
Yeah.
want to be endorsed for them for that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, what do you use for drumsticks?
Vader.
It's
Vader.
like, I know it's not spelled the same, but
Yeah.
Darth Vader soundtrack.
hell yeah, dude.
They need to somehow get the Disney rights to the IP of just Darth Vader and just do some ads with that. That'd be
I would
pretty
have
sick.
Darth Vader like
Drum-
tips on my sticks. Like, oh yeah, dude.
Darth Vader
That'd be
rap
ridiculous.
on the drumstick.
Yes, that would be
That's
fantastic.
a good idea, man.
One more thing I wanted to make sure that we touched on was you guys released an EP not all that long ago, your debut EP with Rev It Up. When did you guys drop that?
That was dropped. I think we released the whole thing on Spotify or at least most of it on Spotify.
All of it.
Actually, no, all of it on Spotify around around like 2021.
Yeah.
Like 2021 December-ish, around Christmas.
Like
we dropped the whole
fall,
thing.
winter.
So we recorded it in 2020. Actually, we recorded it at Iguana Studios.
We did the music video for Summer is Ours in that summer of 2021.
Yeah.
We did Don't Know How to Love You video at Iguana in the fall. And then we got them all on Spotify. And then we've been doing some releases. We just got finally our because the songs that didn't have music videos, we didn't have them up on YouTube. So we just put like our fourth song on that EP, Sweeter Than Honey, on YouTube now. So it's like available on everything.
Yeah. So you can go on our link tree.
Go on sticksandstones.italy.
Yeah, sticksandstones.italy, and you can find our EP on Spotify or anywhere, Apple Music, anywhere.
All the
It's a fantastic listen. Like I dig the diversity you guys have. You kind of show off everything you can do, which I think is so important for a band like you guys to. It's not this. Hey, here's a bunch of straight up just riffing rock and roll tracks. Which don't get me wrong, I dig that as much as the next guy. But you got to have a little bit of. There's like some heaviness in there. There's some just good old ripping rock and roll tracks, and then there's this ballad. Like there's a little bit of everything. I dig it.
Yeah. I think that's kind of what our thing is. Like even we have about like 8 to 10 songs ready to go, and we have like straight up like 70s type rock songs all the way until like Alter Bridge Gojira style like heavy. So like it's like so our songs cover such a wide variety of genres.
And I feel like that's just because we have a wide variety of influences.
Yeah. Soon we got to drop a reggae tune.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I figured that was coming next. That's just the next logical step. And then eventually there'll be some rap. I'm assuming some hip hop, maybe.
No.
Yeah, I don't know if
just no.
Country, no. That's a
country, maybe.
Maybe I can see it. Put on some cowboy hats. I tell you what.
I think the closest we'll get to that is like those memes where it's like the da-na-na-na. This is what it feels like to drive a Ram, or like those memes.
Car commercials.
I think that might be like the closest we make one of those memes.
If I don't turn on a commercial in like the next 5 years and hear a countrified version of you guys like on a build tough, like
just in the back of a Ram, just driving around the countryside.
You just hear a banjo in the background. Yeah.
I mean, going to Nashville, that's a pretty. I have a good friend of mine who is a straight up rock and roll dude, and he started going to Nashville to play with some buddies of his, and like just slowly became a country guitarist.
Yeah,
and I was like, dude, it happens.
The banjo just appeared in his hand one day. He just woke up. What happened to my guitars? Why don't they have 4 strings?
Proceeds to start yodeling.
Yeah.
No, but yeah,
how did the yodeling Walmart kid get in my band?
Yeah. No, yeah, Nashville is very country. They're especially like in the bars and stuff there. It's either like country or like very, very mainstream rock. Like there's not a lot of like off the radio type rock. It's very like Bon Jovi, like pop rock type stuff, right? But it's mainly country.
Yeah.
It's mainly
for sure, yeah.
Country's massive now.
Yeah, country's always
always.
Massive,
I feel like they've been pretty consistent.
Yeah,
it's that crossover now where they have. I heard a track the other day. It was the hell was it? It was Florida Georgia Line, and it was. Oh my god, this is gonna bother me. I have to Google it. It's gonna bother me, and it just like I was like, what? Like, they're not even trying anymore. It's just straight up, he's rapping. Like, there's no...
Yeah.
I have to look this up now, guys. Excuse me. I'm like, this is going to bother me so much if I don't rap song. I'm going to try and figure this out. Yeah, with Nelly. Yes.
Nelly.
I was like, this could be a really old song. I have no idea. But I remember we're sitting there. Like we're driving that, the wife was driving down the road, and all of a sudden the song pops up, and I'm like, "Aren't they like a country artist, kind of?" She's like, "Oh." I was like, "What the hell happened?" Like, anyway,
even like Megadeth, they just released a song with Ice-T.
Right.
But I mean,
But,
Ice-T
to
does have his
me-
own metal band.
Recently,
Yeah.
if you went back, like old Ice-T with Megadeth would have been pretty surprising. But Ice-T now, because he's in the metal now.
Yeah,
won,
he's
like,
got
metal
the he's
album
got
of
the
the
body
year or
count
something.
stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm a body count fan, especially like the old body count. So like, yeah, but also I could see Dave. Like, I bet Dave's got some bars, man. I bet. I
He's spinning
bet.
some bars.
I would bet
Put
that
him on
he
the
could. He
track.
probably could sit there. and I don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm a massive Megadeth fan, but I am a Megadeth fan. But yeah, that's my fun Dave Mustaine impression. Everyone does it. Obviously.
Yeah,
It's lame,
yeah.
but- no, I bet you he's got some bars, man. It wouldn't even shock me
Yeah.
if they were like, "Oh, this new Megadeth song," and Dave's rapping. I'd be like,
This
"Yeah,
new
that checks
Megadeth
out."
song, it's 808s and trap hi hats.
It's just Dave like
Or
rapping.
you can see
about,
like you're gonna see
something
like Drake
ridiculous.
featuring Dave Mustaine. What?
Drake
What?
featuring Dave Mustaine. Oh my god, that's great. Because I could like again, I just be like, oh, okay, like
Yeah.
just, I mean, for God's sakes, freaking like you look at like what Demi Lovato's doing right now.
Oh
Which
yeah.
like my wife's a huge Demi Lovato fan, so like I'm a closet Demi Lovato fan.
Yeah.
But now, like, you know, with Nina just joining her band and
Oh,
everything,
yeah.
and I'm like,
yeah.
yo, like this is getting ready to
Rock.
take
Yeah.
off,
Yeah.
dude. Like I've been arguing with people about this because like, look, can't believe she lost Alice Cooper for Demi, and I'm like, really, you can't believe that?
Yeah, I
Like,
could believe that.
I can understand. Like, oh, well, Alice Cooper's a respectable gig. Absolutely. It's one of the best gigs you can have as a
Yeah.
hired gun. But so is playing for one of the biggest pop stars in the world who's getting ready to try and make this massive shift. And she
Yeah.
wants songwriters and stuff, you know?
Yeah. No, yeah. Honestly, it's kind of an especially it's like she's like a girl guitar player too, so it even suits like the image. And
Well,
it's
and
like,
she's also like one of the best guitar players out there.
yeah, that too.
So-
So
Low
that
key,
kinda helps.
but yeah.
That helps just a little bit, you know.
Whatever.
That helps a little bit, you know. Yeah.
She's just a beast.
Yeah,
Like,
she is. She's insane.
and she's got the riffs too, man. Like,
Yeah.
and you killed it, by the way, on the Dead Inside entry, man. Like that was, I really liked your version of that.
Yeah. My David Draymond impression.
Yeah. And I'm a big Disturbed fan, so I was like, I don't know, like this is some big shoes, and I was like, okay, cool, I respect, I
Yeah.
liked it.
No, I
But
definitely don't have a David Draymond voice, but I tried.
Yes, as long as you didn't come out and be like, wah! Like, dude, don't just,
Yeah, just yeah.
don't do what Trivium did. Just stay away.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Stay as far away
Cheers.
from that as possible. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout outs to Trivium. But boys, it's been an absolute pleasure just getting to hear about you guys' careers a little bit and getting to chat with you and getting to know you here. Last question I always like to ask people when they're on the show for the first time. It's kind of a staple question here. Now I know there's been a lot of shows over the last couple of years,
Yep.
but do you have a story about either the best show you guys ever played, or alternatively, the worst show you ever played and it was like comical? Or you can give me both.
I think our best show, or at least one that made me feel like, this is sick. This is like dream come true stuff. Is when we played for John 5. We opened up for John 5, and that was the first time we had like a green room, and you know you go there, they had like water in the fridge, came with beers and stuff, and you had like your own green room. It felt like really cool.
Yeah.
I feel like that was like a really really cool experience, and it was a really like almost like a hard work paid off type of moment. And I just thought that was really cool for me. I thought that was like epic, and to play like on the stage at the Phoenix was really cool too.
And hopefully playing September 30th with Gilby Clark is going to be like a really sick experience, because Gilby, the Guns N' Roses, man, it's like,
I mean, yeah, that's
it's like-
awesome.
to play with Gilby Clark is really cool. Like that's one of the probably one of the biggest names that you could well, maybe not the biggest names, but it's a big name to play with, and to be able to say, yeah, I opened up for Gilby Clark is really cool.
Especially given your history with being such a fan, right, of JNR.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
That's going to be just... Yeah, that's going to be cool. So that'll be your answer the next time.
The next time.
The next
You'll be
time.
like, I think it'll be Clark show.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Or
All
we
right,
might have
boys,
another
it's-
Tim Hortons one.
Oh,
We'll see.
please. Yeah.
We'll
Oh,
see.
yeah. No, please. I'm just going to have you guys on like once in a while, just to be like, all right, share some stories with me about people throwing Tim Hortons cups at you. And I expect one. Awesome. All right, boys. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you
yeah.
for having
Great.
us.
It was great.
All right, folks, there you have it. My chat with Robert and Nick from Sticks and Stones. I hope that you guys enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. It was just a blast getting to chat with those guys. And be sure to check out the links down below in the description of this podcast for some links to Sticks and Stones, and check them out. They definitely deserve your support. I want to thank you for listening to this episode. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, leave a like, leave a rating if you can. I very much appreciate it. If you would like to keep up with the Harder Show, you can do so by checking us out on social media. We are under Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all under The Harder Show. I do have a Discord channel for the Harder Show community in which I go on and post memes and have fun topics and go live all the time to hang out and chat and edit and things of that nature. If you would like to join the Harder Show Discord, you can do so on my link tree, which is just link, linktr.ee, link tree, but the .ee /the Harder Show, or just go on the Harder Show Instagram and click the link in my bio, and you will find the link to the Discord there. Or alternatively, you can also just hit me up and I will send you a link to the Discord that way. If you are listening to this podcast on the Spreaker app, which I sure hope you are, because it's a fantastic app, be sure to leave a comment on there and let me know what you thought of this episode. Leave a like. I very much appreciate it. And if you are listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or YouTube or wherever, leave a rating if you can, and also hit that subscribe button. I very much appreciate it. And while you're at it, be sure to check out all of the other fine programs we have here on the Grey Rooms Productions Podcast Network. We, of course, have the Grey Rooms Horror Anthology Podcast, the best there is out there. If you're into horror audio dramas, check out the Grey Rooms. If you haven't, it is seriously the best audio drama podcast out there. They are hard at work with season 5 right now. I cannot freaking wait. I am so hyped for that. But in the meantime, I recommend, honestly, go back to episode 1 and just binge the whole series. Because when you're done, you're going to want to binge it again. Because it is seriously freaking amazing. It is such an incredible podcast. And I have so much love and respect for everybody over at the Grey Rooms team for what they do. And if your needs for horror, paranormal based stuff is maybe not on the fictional side, but you want something a little more real, check out The Ghost Signal. Now, The Ghost Signal is a paranormal podcast that is based on the situations that control operator Jeff, who's the host of the show, finds himself in which he walks you guys through paranormal investigations that he has done himself personally, with some actual audio footage of some of the investigations, as well as he shares stories about real life paranormal situations, and he will also occasionally do some paranormal story readings of his own. Ghost Signal, absolutely fantastic. Check it out. And there's more coming for the Grey Rooms Productions. It's not just horror related content. The Grey Rooms Productions network is growing. I am living proof of that. I am not a horror podcast, so be sure to stay tuned to the Grey Rooms Productions Network, because there's a lot of really, really cool stuff coming, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But if you would like to maybe do a little bit more to help support The Harder Show, you can do so by joining The Harder Show Patreon at patreon.com/The Harder Show. Just like my fine patrons, my hotheads, we have all of the hotheads here that I, of course, need to give a freaking shout out to, because they are seriously the best people. We have, of course, my man Scotty D, the man, the myth, the legend. We have the Grey Rooms podcast. I mean, come on. I can't say enough wonderful things about the Grey Room podcast. We got Ronan Komori, Wolf Delta Pi, Eric Phones, Arthur Unk, Mike Quintero, rounding everyone out. Some seriously badass human beings in this. And if you would like a little shout out on every episode of the show, and access to a Patreon exclusive horror narration podcast that I do, in which some of my patron friends will be joining me for, which I'm very excited about. Check out the Horror Show Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you'll get a shout out and access to exclusive content, not the podcast, but other exclusive content, and also the Discord feeds that you can only get on if you are a patron. And for the $5 and above tier, you will get access to the exclusive Patreon podcast, which I have so much fun doing. And honestly, I put a lot of work into it. I put as much work into my Patreon podcast as I do this podcast, if not more in some ways, because it is a kind of horror audio drama-esque horror narration podcast. So we have a lot of fun over on the Patreon. Be sure to go check it out. But if not, I just appreciate you listening. Thank you so much. You are seriously the best. And with that, I'm going to sign off here today. I will catch you next time right here on The Hotter Show. Take it easy, guys.